World War II was a conflict of unimaginable scale, but sometimes the most powerful moments aren't in the textbooks, they're in the photographs. In this video, we're taking you through some of the most shocking, haunting, and unforgettable images from the war. Each frozen frame captures a story of courage, devastation, humanity, and survival. From the streets of Normandy to the snows of Leningrad, these photos will take you closer to the war than words ever could. Watch closely. These are the moments that shaped history, frame by frame. Soviet T-34 tanks and infantry. A thunderous scene in Ukraine. Soviet T-34 tanks charge forward alongside infantry, kicking up dirt and determination. Captured in 1944, this image symbolizes the sheer force of the Red Army's advance as they push Nazi forces westward. The coordination of men and machines, the urgency in their movement, it's the Eastern Front in motion. This photo isn't just about warfare, it's about resilience and sacrifice in one of history's most brutal theaters. Murdered American soldier. This gut-wrenching image shows an American soldier murdered and left in the snow during the Normandy massacre. In December 1944, SS troops executed over 80 American prisoners during the Battle of the Bulge. The photo is stark and silent, but its horror is deafening. It's a grim reminder of wartime atrocities and the cruel reality that even surrender could not guarantee safety. Justice would come later through war crime trials, but the image remains as a lasting indictment. German soldiers demolish a Polish border post. The invasion begins. German troops blow up a Polish border checkpoint on September 1, 1939. This was the first act of aggression that ignited World War II. The photograph captures more than just an explosion. It's the collapse of peace, the spark that would lead to 6 years of devastation. Within days, Poland was overrun and the world plunged into war. This image marks the start of it all. Wait for me, Daddy, Canada. A tender moment amid the chaos of war. In New Westminster, British Columbia, a young boy breaks free to chase his father, who marches off to war. His mother's outstretched hand can't hold him back. The photo, known as Wait for Me, Daddy, captured a nation's heartbreak and the emotional cost of service. It's a universal image of separation, love, and the innocence of a child who doesn't fully understand what war truly means. 2 Soviet snipers near Leningrad. Hidden among trees, 2 Soviet snipers lie in wait near Leningrad. The siege had dragged on for years and every bullet mattered. These women, yes women, were among the Red Army's deadliest assets. Trained, disciplined, and fearless, they took out enemy officers and helped stall the Nazi advance. This photo reveals the quiet tension of war, the power of patience, and the role of women in combat, often overlooked, never unimportant. St. Paul's Cathedral. London burns, but St. Paul's stands. During the Blitz, German bombers dropped waves of destruction across the city. Yet on this night, amid smoke and rubble, the cathedral miraculously survives. The image became an icon of British resilience, a symbol that even when the city shook, its spirit remained intact. For many, it was a sign of hope that even in war, something sacred could endure. German Heinkel. He-111 bomber. A sleek silhouette cuts across the sky, the German Heinkel He-111, a bomber used in the early stages of the war. Photographed over the English Channel, it represents the technological edge and aggressive tactics of the Luftwaffe. But it also foreshadows the aerial battles to come, the Battle of Britain, the bombing raids, the dogfights. It's the calm before the storm, a predator in flight, a fallen American soldier in Germany. Lying still among his gear, an American soldier lies lifeless in Germany. Captured by life photographer Robert Capa, the image doesn't glamorize war. It strips it bare. There's no drama, no glory, just the cost. It reminds us that every victory came at the price of young lives cut short. It's one of the most raw and sobering portraits of death in combat. A soldier with a pup in the Ardennes. In the frozen forests of the Ardennes, a soldier cradles a tiny puppy in his coat. Amid the horror of the Battle of the Bulge, this moment of gentleness is almost surreal. It's proof that even in the most savage environments, humanity finds a way to survive. The soldier's half smile, the puppy's trust, it's a sliver of warmth in a world turned cold by war. Soviet soldier gives a light to German prisoner. In a small but powerful moment, a Soviet soldier lights a cigarette for a captured German POW. Taken in 1943, this image defies the enemy narrative. It's about respect, mercy, and shared humanity, even between those told to hate each other. War creates enemies, but moments like these show that decency can exist even in the rubble of conflict. American soldiers march toward Houffalize. Trudging through snow-covered roads, American troops advanced toward Houffalize in Belgium during the final months of the war. Their heavy coats and weary faces tell a story of fatigue, determination, and bitter cold. The Battle of the Bulge was the largest fought by U.S. forces and among the most brutal. This image captures the grind of victory, one frozen step at a time. British man of the 1st Airborne Division, Arnhem. In Arnhem, a British paratrooper crouches behind rubble, gripping his rifle, eyes locked on the enemy. Operation Market Garden had promised a swift end to the war, but it failed. The Battle of Arnhem became a symbol of bravery against overwhelming odds. This photo captures the quiet intensity of a soldier who knows retreat is not an option. He's outnumbered, but not out of the fight. A railroad gun captured by U.S. troops. The sheer scale of this image stuns. A massive German railway gun, now in the hands of U.S. forces near Rentwertshausen. These behemoths fired shells the size of cars, designed to terrorize cities from miles away. The photo dwarfs the soldiers beside it. It's not just a war trophy, it's a glimpse at the lengths nations went to gain an edge. War wasn't just fought with rifles, it was engineered. General Eisenhower. June 6th was approaching. General Eisenhower walks among American paratroopers of the 101st Airborne, offering final words before they fly into Normandy. This photograph, taken just hours before D-Day, shows the weight of command and the youth of those preparing to jump into history. Eisenhower's calm expression masks the uncertainty of what lay ahead. It's the calm before one of the greatest military operations ever attempted. German soldiers of the 12th SS Panzer. A final image. Grim, defiant, chilling. Members of the 12th SS Panzer Division pose in Normandy, young but already hardened. They were among the most fanatical Nazi units, accused of multiple war crimes during the campaign. The photo is disturbing in its normalcy, a reminder that evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like a teenage soldier holding a rifle with misplaced pride. Marines drinking coffee. Exhausted but alive, this photograph shows U.S. Marines huddled together, clutching cups of coffee after 48 hours of non-stop combat. It's 1944, in the thick of the Pacific War. Their faces are hollow with fatigue, dirt smeared across their skin, yet there's a strange calm in their eyes. The coffee isn't just a drink, it's a lifeline, a moment of fragile peace amid chaos. This image reminds us that even in hellish conditions, soldiers found brief moments of humanity and held on to them like gold. 7th Seaforth Highlanders, mud, rain, and the constant thud of artillery. This was Normandy during Operation Epsom. The men of the 7th Seaforth Highlanders are shown trudging through a waterlogged field, rifles slung and faces grim. It's a haunting display of determination. These men weren't movie heroes, they were ordinary soldiers fighting extraordinary battles in unfamiliar terrain. This photo captures the unglamorous reality of war, soaked uniforms, tired limbs, but an unbreakable will to push forward. Abandoned kid. Amongst the rubble of a bombed-out street in London, a small child stands alone, clutching a worn stuffed animal. It's 1945 and the war in Europe is nearing its end. But for this child, the war has already stolen everything. The empty look in their eyes tells a story no child should ever have to live through. This image hits harder than a battlefield. It shows the quiet casualties of war, the ones who don't wear uniforms but carry scars for life. Graves of British bomber crew. In occupied territory, German soldiers stand solemnly at the freshly dug graves of British bomber crewmen. It's 1941, and despite the brutality of war, this photo shows a rare glimpse of honor among enemies. The German soldiers built crosses, held a proper burial, and paid respect to their fallen foes. In the middle of destruction, this act of humanity reminds us that even on opposite sides of war, there can be dignity and mutual respect. Soviet heavy tanks in Berlin. A thunderous convoy of Soviet IS-2 heavy tanks rolls into the heart of Berlin. The year is 1945. The war in Europe is reaching its dramatic climax. Smoke still rises in the background as the Red Army moves in with unmatched force. This image marks both the triumph and tragedy of war. Victory for some, devastation for others. It's a moment of history frozen in steel, fire, and finality. German 88mm anti-aircraft guns in action. The dreaded German 88mm flat gun roars to life in this intense photograph from 1940. Originally designed for anti-aircraft use, the 88 became one of the most feared weapons of the war, devastating both planes and tanks. The gunners are locked in action, smoke swirling, their expressions sharp with focus. This image is a snapshot of German military precision and the terrifying firepower that came with it, a symbol of both engineering brilliance and destruction. U.S. tank crew praised before battle. Moments before heading into battle, a U.S. tank crew kneels together in prayer. It's 1945 and every mission could be their last. Some have eyes closed, others look skyward. There are no words, no commands, just a shared silence between brothers in arms. The contrast of heavy machinery and spiritual vulnerability makes this photograph deeply moving. It shows us that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to face it head-on with faith and unity. French woman gives drink to British soldier. In a war-torn street of Lisieux, France, a local woman gently offers a drink to a passing British soldier. It's 1944, shortly after liberation. The soldier, dusty and tired, accepts with gratitude. It's a quiet moment of kindness amid the chaos, a reminder that war didn't extinguish the warmth of the human spirit. This image speaks volumes about gratitude, hospitality, and the deep connections formed during moments of shared struggle. Portrait of a Soviet tank commander. This portrait captures a Soviet tank commander in 1944, young, determined, and fiercely composed. Clad in leather gear with the iconic tanker's helmet, he stares into the lens with silent authority. His eyes reflect not just bravery but burden, the kind earned from battles already fought and more to come. It's not just a photograph, it's a window into the soul of a leader responsible for men, missions, and survival in one of the war's most brutal fronts. The last known photograph of Adolf Hitler. Sunken eyes, trembling hands, and a broken posture. This is Adolf Hitler in April 1945, the last known image of the man who dragged the world into chaos. Taken in the garden of the Führer bunker, Berlin lies in ruins around him. The once dominant dictator appears as a shadow of himself, defeated not just militarily but morally and historically. This photograph is a haunting symbol of downfall, showing how absolute power ultimately crumbles under the weight of its own evil. These 15 photographs capture more than just moments. They capture the soul of a generation. Courage, fear, cruelty, kindness. World War II had it all. And through these frozen frames, we get a window into the past that's more honest than any textbook. If this journey moved you, let us know which photo hit hardest. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories told through the lens of history. Until next time, remember, every photo has a story and every story has something to teach us.